Let's talk about it, Boulder.
Glad to be back. We never start recruiting, so I haven't left doing that. We have some wonderful, phenomenal young men up here that we want to join this magnificent team. I think we've secured commitments from darn near everybody.
Colorado does it again. Yesterday, there were 4 commitments for the Buffs. Throughout that day, they've had 7 total commitments over like the last 6 days out of the transfer portal. And this one is a pretty big one because it brings youth into the team. We're going to talk about that, as well as another player that the Buffs are targeting. He's down to 3 teams, and Colorado's in there. Good chance of winning it. So let's jump into that here on the Prime Time for College Football. Thanks for pulling up. I'm your boy Jay. Let's dive into this latest pickup for Colorado and Deion Sanders, which I think is a pretty big pickup for what Prime is trying to do. We've got Noah King. Now, let's pull up his stats. We'll look at the measurables, and let's talk about how important of a pickup Noah is for this squad. So Noah is a true freshman. He was an early enrollee at Kansas State, former 4-star, consensus composite 4-star over at On3, one of the top players out of the state of Ohio, top 15 overall, number 7 for 247. They liked him a lot, but he's a top 300 player on On3's industry ranking. 6'1", 195 corner. So we all know that the Colton Hood situation, he bounced out, and a lot of you told me in the comments you were hearing that he bounced because his brother Brandon Hood, the young running back, was going to be cut. And so since they're a package deal, Colton decided to bounce. And Colton was going to be a massive portion of this secondary for the Buffs. And Prime even addressed and said that one thing they needed to do was to add some more to the secondary here in the portal. And well, you know, he did that. He had some phenomenal players in the portal that they're going after, and this is one of them. And so Noah brings in some good young talent to add to a room that recently added, who was that? Terrence Love from Auburn. You bring in Teion Parks from the secondary as well. So the Buffs are definitely revamping a lot of the secondary here in the transfer portal. And I love the pickup of Noah King as, like I said, it brings additional youth to the depth chart. Tell me what y'all think. Hop in the comments. Definitely want to hear from you all. On top of that, the Buffs are also in the top 3 for a coveted linebacker from BYU, Harrison Taggart. So they'll have that. And they also got some visitors on the recruiting trail. Stick around. We'll talk about them in just a moment. But Harrison Taggart has dropped his top 3 teams, which is Cal, Colorado, as well as North Carolina State. He's from BYU, 6'1", 235. Last year, he totaled up 69 tackles, a sack, a forced fumble, form of recovery, as well as an interception last season. And he started his career at Oregon. And so that didn't work out for him. Ended up at BYU, put up some solid numbers. And now he has 2 more years of eligibility, and Colorado is definitely heavily in the mix. And so he did a visit this week, got him posting, videos and pictures of him, rocking Colorado gear on the 29th. So there's a good chance that the Buffs could win another transfer portal pickup. Again, that's why I try to wait before I drop anything around portal pickups a little bit, because you have an avalanche of 4-5 kids populate or whatnot. And so if the Buffs can land Taggart, this will be a big depth piece and potentially someone that can play. He ran a 10.6 in the 100, so he's fast. And he gets to the spot that he's supposed to whenever they need him to. So Colorado could use more speed. They could definitely use some additional talent. And I know that Coach Prime loves living in the transfer portal because he likes those dudes to have a little bit of seasoning and understand what the requirements are to be successful in college football. Let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments on that Harrison Taggart. You think the Buffs got a chance of landing him? I think Colorado does. I think he really liked his visit and looking through his socials. I mean, he's posted some stuff, but man, it feels like he was kind of loving that Colorado visit. But we'll see what that looks like very soon. All right, lastly, on the recruiting trail, Steve Wiltfong over there at on 3 posted a nice detailed article. A lot of players coming through. I didn't talk about this. Damata Pico Jr., the son of defensive line coach Pico, he committed to Colorado out of JUCO. And so he'll be a part of the 26th class. He'll be here in December, which is pretty big for the Buffs, starting off a little bit early. But they're going to be adding a whole bunch of, and a slew of visitors coming through. So this weekend, coming up soon, you're going to see, first off, Felix Ojo, the big 5-star offensive tackle out of Mansfield, Texas. He'll be in town. There's a lot of Texas, Ohio State talk, but right now it sounds like Felix Ojo, after everything we're seeing at Colorado and how things are blowing up, he's considering the Buffs and really showing them a lot more love than I expected, which is cool. But at the same time, you got Jordan Seaton there on at the tackle spot, starting as a true freshman and becoming a freshman All-American. I'm thinking he's looking at that and saying, might be a chance for your boy to do something. So he's coming through. Additionally, some IMG Academy kids are going to be coming into town this weekend. You've got Jay Cruel, the number 6 edge in the country, 5-star on most recruiting sites, with Brett Brett Colajay, who's from Colorado. He's a Colorado native, but he's at IMG Academy. We've talked about him before. He's pulling up, as well as we know. There's a couple of IMG Academy kids on the roster now, in London Merritt, as well as Alex McPherson. So you've got those two already, and they're going to be, of course, in their ear, letting them know why they should go ahead and pull up to Boulder and join. Now, this is Colajay's a return visit. I mean, again, he is, from Colorado, and I know there's a lot of big programs after him: Georgia, LSU, Oklahoma, Miami, the Texas of the world, Ohio State. He's got a lot of big programs after him, and same thing with Jay Cruel. So be nice if the Buffs could land one of these 5-star, get a 5-star, maybe get a couple 5-stars out of this visit. It'd be nice. Deacon Schmidt's also going to be making the return visit as well, so it's good to get the local kid in there with them. It's always a plus to get a lot of players that can potentially play together, especially position-wise, at the same time, because like Deacon Schmidt is the number 1 prospect in the state, and you get him there with some other talent that he could end up, teaming up with, could sell them on that. Then they have an OV coming up with Jace Matthews. He's the number 8 wide receiver on On3's board. He is considered a consensus and composite 4-star top 100 player in the country, out of Leakesville, Mississippi. So he's going to be making a visit, 6'2", 180. Another nice-sized dude that I know that Prime has really turned his head. I think I saw an article not too long ago of him kind of praising what's going on in Colorado. So, hey, another nice one to pick up. KJ Edwards will be also visiting a top running back in the country, 4-star, top 50 player in high school ball right now, 5'10", 180 back out of Texas. So more Texas boys coming through as usual. Tight end Gavin Mueller will be pulling up this weekend. He's a top 600 player in the country, based out of South Elgin, Illinois. And then one unofficial is a Jalen Lott, who said that he's coming into town, one of the top athletes out there, 6', 170, out of Lucas, Texas. So you got another 4-star coming through, top 100 player. Texas is very heavy in his recruitment, but man, the weekend is lining up to have some massive talent that the Buffs need to close on. Let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. Want to hear your thoughts on these prospects. All right, make sure you pull up. We're going to actually talk, got to talk Shadur again, of course. He's in the news, and something happened to where I think he may have upset some people, but in a very good way that Buffs fans would be proud of. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, and the bell notification so you don't miss that video dropping tomorrow. We'll dive into what he's doing and the game-changing things he's doing in the NFL already before even stepping on the field. We'll chop it up with all of you very soon, and have a good one.